know. And if you don't, better pay attention. Junior Black Friday is here. It's the one time of the year where you can get all the things you've always wanted for way less. Because Junior's biggest deals are about to drop on everything from phones and electronics to clothes, beauty products, and so much more. Do pass yourself and get whatever you want and more with no regret. Just savings. Mark your calendar so you don't miss out on Junior Black Friday this year. Download the Junior app now. Joy delivered.
Admission. Monarch University is a private university located at ES Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria. Monarch University is offering admission into their school for a wide range of programs. Monarch University is approved by the federal government of Nigeria. Here are some courses available per faculty. Faculty of Basic and Applied Science, Biological Science, Data Science, Computer Science, Software Engineering, Cyber Security, Information and Technology. Requirement: a minimum of 5 O-level credit in YA, NECO, or GC. Not more than 2 sitting in relevant subject. For more information and inquiry, please visit our website at monarchuniversity.edu.ng. You can also call at +234 80332 78474. Monarch University, academic empowerment and spiritual development.
This is what happens when we elect public servants and don't tell them what to do for us. Voting is not the end. It is just the beginning.
All right, this is the main interview segment, and this is where we talk about something topical and national. Sometimes we go international with our discussion, but for today, we want to look at what has been trending for some days now between the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the military officer, AM Yerima, about land disputes. We want to look at the public disagreement between these two and why we think we should discuss this and guide against future occurrence or what you think is not good in the society. My name is Charity James. I welcome you to today's program, and we want to take this program from now till about 10:30, and I'm not doing the program alone. My colleague is here, Dominic Agbeha. Good morning, Dominic.
Yes, good morning, Charity, and of course, good morning to our viewer at home. Thank you so much for keeping faith with the People's Tele, OGTV. Yes, we promise an interesting and exciting conversation from now till 10:30. Charity.
But before we move ahead, we'll be showing the video of Wike and the military officer as it occurred about a few days ago. When after the watch of the video, we'll continue with our discussion.
Officer. Nobody does that.
We did not carry anybody there.
The man took that. We will not allow going on chief of us and then you to carry that.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop that?
Get it.
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer. I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, good officer.
I will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I want to say you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
me. Will you
up.
keep quiet? Let me take food.
I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool,
You can shoot anybody.
Sir, I'm not a fool. I am not a fool, sir.
As of the time I graduated, you are primary school.
I'm acting on order.
For which order? I just say you see whether you love me here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
I'm not a fool, sir.
I'm not a fool, sir.
You are kidding. everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Go and develop your right to see you.
Regular officer, you want to come and
We are going to get out.
That was what occurred between Minister Wike and some of his aides and the military officer and some of his group members. And we want to discuss it with our guests in the studio. We have Basit Abolade Shuaib, who is the MBA PRO, and he is also a public affairs analyst. And the second guest will be joining us later as the discussion goes on. The second guest is Barrister B. Bajai, who is a former local government administrator and a lawyer. So we'll start with Abu Basit. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
You're welcome to the discussion program. Now, when this video came out and you saw what transpired between the minister and the military officer, what really came to your mind? Do you think it was a necessary confrontation between both parties?
Well, I will start by saying that we are in trouble. We are in serious trouble. Because away from whoever is involved, whether we like the minister or not, we should remember that the minister is acting as an agent of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, by virtue of Section 272 of the Constitution, particularly subsection 2, all lands, as far as the FCT Abuja is concerned, belongs to the President of Nigeria. And Wike, being the minister in charge of FCT, is imbued with that power to enter upon any land and see whatever, whether legal or illegal, occupation on that land. The military officer only said that he's acting on superior authority. He's acting from orders. Is the order above the Constitution of Nigeria? The Constitution of Nigeria is the ground norm, supreme, above any other law. And he shouldn't have obstructed the minister from entering upon that land. The minister was actually informed of their activities, which made him promptly visit the land and see firsthand what is going on the land. Wike is just like the governor of FCT. And as I have said, he is imbued with that power, with authority to enter upon that land and see what is going on. Of course, I do not believe that the minister will enter upon that land and forcefully take over the land. He must follow due process too. However, if we look at the video, Wike was actually trying to do an on-spot assessment, trying to see what he has been told. He wants to confirm. I want to believe that he will not forcefully enter upon the land and say, everybody, vamos. I want to believe he will not do that. Even though we heard that some of his officials, the FCTA officials are on that land to actually evacuate people and whatever it is. But Wike's intention was to go there, have an assessment of what is going on there, and do whatever it is to be done. So, like I have said, we are not discussing anybody's personality here, even though some words are not meant to be used on the officer by the minister. Everybody, by virtue of Section 34 of the Constitution, everybody have right to dignity. The officer is also a Nigerian. He's human. He shouldn't have used some derogatory words for the officer. However, Wike is acting on the authority because he's an agent of the federal government. He's working for the President of Nigeria. So that is just what came to my mind when I saw that video. Are we not in trouble?
What kind of trouble do you foresee coming from what we saw?
We are in trouble on the fact that our constitution is a mud. Our constitution has been dragged. If a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, acting on the instruction of the president, has been deprived the right to perform his duty by virtue of the provision of the constitution, are we not in trouble? And the response given by the officer is that he has been given an order from above. Which order from above is higher, superior? You know, they obstructed him. They didn't allow him enter that land. He was obstructed. He was not allowed to enter that land. A minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? If such impunity can be allowed because somebody is a soldier, is a military officer, let us leave sentiments. Let us leave. So if you look at the analysis of Nigerians, they are attacking the personality of Wike. We are not interested in the personality of Wike. We are interested in the authority, the powers imbued, given to Wike. That's what we are looking at. So we should face issues straight and see that there is problem. Our constitution is being dragged. Because if the officer obeys the constitution, immediately Wike approaches him that I want to have an on-spot assessment. He should have allowed him. Do whatever he wants to do, then he leaves. I want to believe, I am very sure that Wike will not enter that land and start creating nuisance. It is just to assess what is going on, get his facts and leave and do whatever they believe they can do. So that is just.
Okay. Now, for the purpose of education, you have hammered on Constitution that both parties has rights according to the Constitution. Now let's dissect the Constitution now and look at the rights when it comes to land and land dispute or land acquisition. What is the right thing to do? Now we are hearing that the property, the said property is belongs to someone, and the person sold it to someone, and in the process it became illegal development. In the process there were altercations between parties involved. Now what is the law saying about acquiring a land? Who should have the rightful papers or documentation to the land, and at what point does it become a problem when you are having a land and someone is showing interest, or you have sold the property to someone else and another person is coming to check for you? Let me put it that way. At what point should the Constitution come in and the law be used?
Well, that is a very, 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 very big area. An area that if we open the discussion, will not end it now. However, just to cut it short, viewers should know that all lands in Nigeria, irrespective of who owns the land, all lands belong to the government. If you are in the FCT, all lands there belong to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you ask, we are in Ogun State now, all land belongs to the governor of Ogun State by virtue of the Land Use Act. The Land Use Act has given the governor, the president, let me start from the president, the governors, and the local government chairmen, as far as lands that are in the rural area are concerned. The local government chairmen have rights. However, it has been centralized that for you to own a land, and that is why in perfecting your title, after you have bought from persons, I bought from you, I bought from him, in perfecting your title and obtaining a certificate of occupancy from the government, the right authority to sign, if we are able to see a CFO, the right authority to sign is the governor of Ogun State, is the governor of the state, or as the case may be, the president of Nigeria. So it is the government. Let us settle it in our minds that we are all tenants to the government.
Even with those big structures that
yes.
were around, okay?
They are for a particular year or particular years. The governor can wake up tomorrow and say that we need this land for overriding public interest. We need this land for overriding public interest, for the interest of the citizens of Nigeria. So he can actually take over, enter upon a land, and say that this land, I am interested in this land.
Okay, before we move on, we have to go for this short break, and that short break, our second guest will join us on the discussion table.
I just want the papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so and month never even reach sef. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect roja for my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
Happen.
With good luck
Proper funding, training,
and cooperation.
if it happen.
Now joining us on the discussion table is Barrister Habib Ajayi, a former local government administrator and also a lawyer. Now you're welcome, Barrister Ajayi.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, everyone.
I will allow Barrister Habib Ajayi to take his breath. I mean, since he's just joining us. So let me come to Barrister Shaibu Abolade. Now, you were talking about the Constitution earlier on. You were saying it's the grand norm, as a matter of fact, and Wike, has the backing of the Constitution in what he actually went to that land to do. But we also know that that institution that Lieutenant Yerima, hails from, also has their own norm, as a matter of fact. And whether we like it or not, our Constitution recognizes that institution, as a matter of fact. Is there no way? And because I'm sure Wike must have gotten the wind that that property actually belonged to, a vice admiral, as a matter of fact. Now, is there no way Wike could have gone about it in such a way that both the Constitution that he is actually acting on and that of the other agency or the institution that he is going to face, they are both respected and none of them is actually dished or dished?
Yes, thank you very much. Let me start by saying that there is no conflict as far as our laws are concerned. There is no conflict. Like I have said earlier, our Constitution is our grand norm. It is where we find other laws are actually emanate from that Constitution. Whichever law that is inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution shall, to the excess of its inconsistency, be rendered null and void. Now, Wike, like I have said, is acting on the instructions and as an agent of the federal government. Now, when he got to that scene of the when he got to that land, he was saying that he has been informed that some documents are actually not in order, and that they need to confirm whether their claim as to genuinity of their documents are concerned. They have to confirm. So he mentioned all these things, which means that the military officers, that is the vice admiral, is to obey that instruction from the minister in charge. So it is just basically an issue of understanding between the military officer, that is the vice admiral, and the minister in charge of lands, minister in charge of the place where he bought his land. We do not know, I do not know, I have not seen any document, we are not sure of what the two parties are saying, but what we are sure, what we are saying is what transpired on that land. So what we are saying now is that there is no confusion, there is no conflict as far as our laws are concerned. What we know is that the step taken by Wike is in accordance with the powers imbued to him, given to him by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, the military, what they are doing there, like I have said, the man said, the Yerima said, that is acting from orders from above. So acting from orders from above cannot override the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it is just for the two parties to understand, this is my role, this is your role. Fine. Yerima is not even the owner of the property.
Yeah.
Yerima got orders from his superior to be on the land, believing that that land belongs to my superior. So, but the minister in charge is not telling you that there are issues as far as the land you said you have acquired is concerned. There are issues. Bring forth your evidence.
Now,
let us assess.
Knowing full well, really, that Yerima will be dealt with mercilessly if he had actually gone against the order that was given to him. Do you think? I mean, because that's also at play here. And we know how seriously these institutions actually take, instructions, order, and the rest of them. I mean, particularly when they are flouted. So, given that scenario, that he could have been, or he would have been dealt with decisively and mercilessly if he had flouted that instruction given to him by his principal. I mean, do you think? We should still be towing that line, that he should have respected the Constitution. He is also respecting his institution, which is also recognized by the Constitution.
He is not respecting his institution. He is respecting his superior. His superior. I gave him order. I am sure that the order given to Yerima was directly from the retired Vice Admiral. I want us to get this very clear. That land does not belong to the Nigerian military. It belongs to the Vice Admiral Gambo, retired. It personally belongs to Gambo. It does not belong to Nigerian, maybe Defense Directorate or Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy. It does not belong to any of these institutions. It belongs to a person, a retired Vice Admiral. So if we are looking at it on a very balanced scale, we will discover that the Constitution is superior. He is saying he's having orders and instructions from his superior above. It should not override the provision of the Constitution by allowing the minister. I'm sure.
Okay, let's Barrister Abibajai. Let's hear your own opinion on that. When we look at the civil administrative land management procedures, do you think this procedure from both parties were honored? Do you think Minister Wike followed the civil administrative way of looking into lands? Do you think the owner of the land or the man who received order to supervise and watch over the land followed the civil administrative land management? Who should be blamed now? What should be done now?
Thank you very much. I think the starting point should be, one, what is the status of the subjects of the so-called disputes between the two parties? What's the status? Now facts are beginning to emerge that, okay, a company, a limited liability company, apply for a parcel of land for purpose of what is called park.
Park, yeah.
Now, somewhere along the line, the jettisoned the idea of the park and started allocating the plots to individuals. Don't forget that they have the allocation in the first instance. But when you get to any land or building departments, regional, urban development planning and what have you, there's always a purpose. The first question is, what is the purpose of the allocation? If the purpose is A and you are doing B, from the onset you are doing the wrong thing. Now, that is the situation. Retire or vice admiral, whatever, also got an allocation. Now, the issue is the department is asking, where is your allocation paper? You and I know that in such a situation, even if you put agents in there, you need to, even if it is a mere photocopy of your right of occupancy, your right of where is the allocation? Okay, Mr. Yerima, this is a photocopy in case they come in for purpose of checking, show this. Then the question will now be, the purpose is not this, the purpose is not that. But I want to believe that the officers of the department in charge of those allocations and building approval or what have you must have gone there initially.
That was the report.
And then in his own way, the Honorable Minister felt that, how can you say somebody is not? You see, until we begin to build institutions in this country, we'll continue to have this yes or no argument. We are not building institutions. And that is why everybody continues to say that once Mr. President appoints the man in charge of electoral officer, we should forget a fair election. We are not building institutions. People occupying the position are not seeing it as, commitment to the Constitution, to the ground norm, the law establishing them. And that is why it is possible in the advanced world that everybody fears. You see the institution trying to prosecute a sitting or trying to, if they don't have immunity anyway, prosecuting an officer of government while still in power. Because it's the institution. Even when you're out of power, the institution will move after you. And that is exactly the position. Now, for whatever reason, I'm not. You see, individuals have their own style. Of course. I've seen people argue that Wike should not have gone there. To me, if he feels, it's just like a commissioner in a state says, okay, I want to go. I want to go there.
And see things for myself.
And see things for myself. Yes. And then you got there, and then somebody said, I am receiving an order from the above. And then, okay, if you are receiving the order from the above, this is the order, this is the authority that the above gave me that I should show to you whenever you come around. And then from there, we now begin to analyze. So, the first instance, I don't see anything wrong in an head of a ministerial, a ministry, so to say, okay, political head for that matter, if you people who are officials feel that there is something that you cannot approach, let me see myself. Yes, use of words zero, you're a fool, you're this, you're that, is to me, but anything in the heat of anger, that's another thing. And those people who occupied position of authority has to be very careful in the way they do things. But for all of us, we must observe the rules of law. Whether you are a military man or, in fact, the man is disobeying, with due respect to Yerima, is disobeying the authority of Mr. President. Because the man, that's another angle. The man who is occupying the position of a minister is representing the president. Now the president is the commander-in-chief of even your guy on the top, using the order, is the chief. Now, to compound the whole matter, the purported owner is a retired person.
An individual.
And then we begin to see a situation that our military personnel, yes, I agree, I subscribe to the view that we must respect, the uniform. Because according to, people, The uniform represents the country. So if the uniform represents the country, are we not going to follow the rules? Okay, whenever we put, whenever we, so is our argument that, okay, a military man is driving on the wrong side of the road and a less than 16, 14-year-old boy is crossing, and then you say, then hit the guy. Do we say that it's a military man? Even if he's going on operation. And what is more, the law is very clear. Agencies of government, particularly security agencies, have been seriously warned not to dwell into civil matters, such as land, recovery of debts. No, but no.
This is a personal belonging.
Yes, I understand. So it means that with due respect, if peradventure the first GM of this institution that we are now transmitting to the whole world, a retired GM, can just come and say stop transmission.
No.
Okay, so that is number one. If, because I am a retired IG, I'm entitled to some courtesies from the institution where I retired from. So I can send a battalion to protect my property. The first question is, where are those soldiers there in the first instance? If they don't have some premonitions that, okay, knowing the approach of the Honorable Minister Wike, the approach is that, okay, either you have the allocation or you don't have. If you don't have, your land is going. Now, there's a suggestion that there's a kind of premonition that, oh, these people will come. And, it's a matter of hearing this and this. They say, okay, they've been there before. So that brings more reinforcement. So it means that the entire person was prepared and was ready.
Battle ready.
And we cannot continue that way in this country. I've condemned the use of words. Honestly speaking, from my own position, the use of words is my problem in this matter. In fact, it's a violation of the military rules and orders to carry out an illegal duty.
When the minister was actually talking yesterday, he made reference to even former president and a retired general, Olusegun Obasanjo, at some point calling him to say, I have issues with so thing, can you resolve it for me? And of course he did that. He also referenced Danjuma, General Danjuma, should also reaching out to him. Now, do you think if Vice Admiral Gambo had reached out to
the minister,
do you think this would have played out differently?
It would have. It would have. See, if the foundation is the correct position, as I gathered from some sources, that the land itself was allocated for park,
yeah,
but to a legal entity, different from its owner. And then the purpose is being changed. All this would have called for interaction within, and I want to believe a head of the NAVA, a retired head of the NAVA, will not be able to approach a sitting minister to say that this is the issue. I got an allocation from this company. I now understand that it was meant for a park. I'm now applying for a change of purpose. That is doable. And then the matter ends there. But I think something must have informed the man that, oh, this man, once he says your allocation is going, then as a former military man, I'm positioning my voice. And they now say there is an order from the above. Short of the use of language.
What do you also make of
which I consider to be vulgar, which I consider to be irresponsible.
What do you make of
the status of a minister? Every other thing, the military should be blamed. And if what I'm reading is true, that there is a statement coming from the military circle that he should have shown respect. Respect for what?
I was about going there.
Respect for rule of law or respect
They said respect
uniform?
for the uniform because uniform represents the country.
Oh my God, the uniform represents the country. Then somebody who is querying the man wearing the uniform also represents the country,
yes, the
an institution, the president, who is the overall head of both the military and the ministry that the minister is heading. So my own position, in fact, I know, I'm aware of a Supreme Court where decision where they said the military cannot carry out illegal, they have a responsibility to disobey illegal instruction rather than go and engage in illegality. So putting it together for me is a no thing.
Barrister is it Shuaib?
Shuaib, yeah.
Shuaib, Barrister Shuaib. Unfortunately, Wike's colleague in the Federal Executive Council, the Minister of Defense, has actually thrown Wike under the bus, really. Looking at that, plus the fact that a lot of generals really are coming to back, what Yerima actually did, Lieutenant Yerima actually did. What do you make of this, really?
Well, like I have said from the beginning, we should not discuss personalities. I think the Minister of Defense, but with due respect to him, was actually discussing personality. Maybe they were not happy with the way Minister Wike handled the situation. So I think they should look beyond that and strengthen. The Minister of Defense is under the President of Nigeria. He was appointed by the President, and his appointment is meant to defend the Constitution of Nigeria. So he is saying that they applaud the conduct of Yerima. As far as I'm concerned, is not too good. They should have condemned the action of the said Yerima, and the only defense he was able to give after all the questions put to him by Wike was that he's acting from an order from above. Is an order from above a bylaw? Can it stand with the Constitution of Nigeria? We are saying that somebody has been given the mandate, the responsibility to act on behalf of the President of Nigeria. You are saying that you are acting from order from above. So I find it very, I don't want to use the word, I don't want to say that it was a very reckless statement to have said that they applaud the conduct of the officer and they did not condemn the action of disallowing the minister from entering upon that land and checking whatever he wants to check and confirming whatever he wants to confirm. So that for me is a no. They should have, the minister, they are members of the Federal Executive Council. They are both members of the Federal Executive Council. They should at least say something, defend, and ensure that the military gets to know that this action of theirs is not in order. That is my submission. Okay,
Barrister Habib, let's look at what Nigerians are making out of this confrontation or public disagreement between the ministry. I don't want to use Wike now because Wike is representing his own ministry and representing the man who puts him there. So the disagreement between the ministry that Minister Wike represents and Nigerians, do you think we have enough education when it comes to the running of some institutions, running of some systems, and how we should behave in the public? Yes, he's a minister, but the words were wrong at that point in time. Lieutenant Yerima, yes, he's a uniformed man. People say he represented Nigeria, but his actions there were wrong, according to what you have said now. So what should Nigerians do when it comes to the point of confrontation? How should they know? What do they need to know about laws and Constitution of Nigeria? Do we have enough knowledge? Do we have education about this?
Well, I think the starting point is to use the word, I forgot the quote now, but let me just say that. In the process of doing what each and every one of us consider to be our duties and responsibilities, we must observe the forms and the rule of law. The process of considering or doing what we consider to be our responsibility, functions, and duties. We must observe the forms and the rule of law on both sides now. I said from the onset, let us build the system. So the take home for Nigerians is that we must learn to build the system. The system that we say, oh, Mr. Retired Naval Officer, Sean, sir, that instruction, sir, will be conflict with the rules of engagement that we should now go and position ourselves. The starting point again is that the military is not even expected to come and defend anything. I would have even more preferred to find policemen there. Where are the Yerimas now? Are they not supposed to be fighting Boko Haram and then solving the insurgency everywhere? And then you are taking a battalion to go and protect, quote and unquote.
But not all military men will be at the, at the war front.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But the point I'm making is that we don't respect our institutions, and we are not building institutions. The second take home is that every Nigerian should understand that there's something wrong with what I call self-help. I have seen the argument, and I also share the belief. It is high time the institutions, the ministries, the everything, know how to approach the court. Even rather than engaging in self-help. Whether you are Department of Lands or you are Department of Building, you are Department of this, there is always a law. And even any law that will give you responsibility to demolish property in breach of the regulation, to me, without a court order, will amount to breach of the constitutional provision on the right to own property. So when will our institutions, ministries, also follow departments use due process in doing things? Yes, you see, when you go through any regulation of any building department, it's always there. They give you warning, first warning, second warning or so, and then they move in. No. The only take home from that is that, and another problem is that our judicial system is slow. It is slow for obvious reasons. So many cases in court. Working tools are not there. Everywhere, up to the Supreme Court. They are inundated with cases that ought not to get to the Supreme Court in the first instance. So there's a problem. We must begin to see how we will obey the rules of law. Once we build the institution, you know that, oh, my institution, the rule of engagement in this institution is that even before I will say that I am obeying the command, these are the protocols I should follow. Once you do that and your oga forgot to go through the protocol, you remind him, because it's not the oga that will defend you now when the institution moves against you. The same thing with the ministry and the ministers and the commissioners at the state levels. No, the institution will move against you. And so that is why you must follow the protocols. Ensure that, for everything you have done is going to be in line with law. But self-help in whatever guise is not encouraged by law. It's against the rule of law. You are saying that if a tenant is owing me as a landlord, and it is apparent that he has not paid, I have given him series of reminders. And then the next thing to do is, first of all, disconnect the light, start removing the roof of my house. You understand? This is my house. And now say I want to renovate, and then start removing. When the property of a tenant who is owing is still there, that the court will find that it amounts to self-help. So we must discourage self-help.
So how do we strengthen our institutions now?
Yes.
We have identified some things that are wrong here. How do we strengthen it? Because if there are strong institutions, as you have said, the minister wouldn't have gone to the land.
The minister would not have gone.
Yes, and
the man who gave instructions
wouldn't have given an order.
And even if he gave the order,
Yerima would have pointed some loopholes.
So how do we strengthen
the thing is that, look, the thing is that if you have an institution and our system in this country is working very well, the moment minister discovered that his people have been the property maybe yesterday or day before yesterday, and that is the signal, they must have a report. The man has positioned soldiers. We all ask for papers just to confirm whether there's an approval or not. We are not able to do that. Legal department, ex parte application, we call it without putting the other side on notice. Another of court directing the ministry official to force open this property and assess whatever they want to assess. That will be the first order. So that order too will be submitted, and then the court can even say that this should be carried out with the assistance of the security agencies. And so if that is the situation, that is, I mean, we are respecting an institution. The ministry is following due process. Like I said, the officer, you know, is also cautious. Even though his boss, the man who is giving the directive, was former number one. He's saying that, even the present number one, and that's why I find, with due respect to the Honorable Minister for Defense, I find that statement, if truly it's coming from that ministry, as an irresponsible statement. It's as simple as that. There's no two ways to it. Because these are issues that you should bother yourself with. That why is my colleague engaging I'm sorry to use the word, my boy, considering the status
like that,
in the public. Why should we subject our own institution to such? Why did Yerima not quit the property in the first instance rather than engaging the other minister? I have not condemned the conduct because it's responsibility. You know, his response was very polite to me, but I know that statement of the Honorable Minister in the heat of anger is nothing to write home about. But it's even in defamation law, we all know that statements that are made in the heat of anger sometimes are regarded as vulgar abuse, and they are not necessarily cannot justify you to sustain an aspect of law of defamation that we lawyers call slander. You understand? Statement made in the heat of anger. I can see that you did not even think for me as the Honorable Minister coming here, and you are still saying I have an instruction not to allow you or anybody here. So that means protocols, we must have established protocols in each and every department of government. And then you all have to realize that the Constitution, like my colleague said, is more superior to any other rules, regulation.
But some top government officials break some protocols, and it encourages others to follow their
Exactly. People have even told me, I mean, I've seen situations even where the FCT ministry, headed by the FCT minister, was not obeying court order. You don't understand?
I do.
It wasn't obeying court order. See, I agree our judicial process is slow for obvious reasons that all of us know. I hope we will get there one day.
So one of the solutions is to even free up the judicial system so that people can go there. Probably that could actually be one of the reasons why some of these ministries don't actually.
There's no denial of access to court in Nigeria. no denial of access to court. But what I know is that when you look at the workload of courts in Nigeria, there are so much that they can't even take it.
Now, Barrister Shuaib,
how do we get to the level that, I mean, in other situations, you have mere tribunal that will sort out these issues
like this.
Of course. You just go to that tribunal, headed by a legal practitioner and supported by some people of with some background knowledge.
And in other climes,
when they ask you, what is your...
And in other climes too, we see military personnel actually take on civilians with respect. I'm saying that because even some persons have also pointed out some wrong words used by Lieutenant Yerima, talking to the director in the ministry, a level 16 officer, somebody who is even old, also enough to be his father, talking down, or on him, telling him that what I'm carrying till you die, you cannot attain it or achieve it, saying to the police officer, I'm talking and the policeman is talking. What nonsense? Who is that? Who are you?
That is
like that.
That is the mentality.
Don't you think it's high time we also changed this mentality?
That mentality.
Entitlement.
No. I think yes, that's the right word. Entitlement. The entitlement is a key word here. That mentality, I think, President Obasanjo try as much as possible when he came in as a civilian president. I knew that he carried out some I don't know the right word to use.
Maybe reforms.
Reforms, that's the word. Reforms even within the military. It is high time the military recognize the fact that we are no longer in the military system. What they are used to is obey the command. See, the military is, if the man says, even in a land dispute, please fire. I have seen some civilians engaging the military, and the man who heads the operation was giving instruction, everybody hold on to your rifle. Do not move an inch in the heat of anger. That's individual. People are doing crack. Is the order is saying stop. So let's have the protocols. Let's each and every one of us, whether in the military, in the civil department, respect the rules and the forms of law. Okay,
we will soon leave. But before we leave, let's hear your parting shot, Barrister Shuaib. Lawyer Shuaib now, what do you want Nigerians to take home? Because we have a lot of divided comments now. Some people are for Wike, some people are against Wike, and some people are for the Lieutenant General. So what should Nigerians stop doing when it comes to seeing this kind of thing in the public? How should we react? Because some reactions now, we have seen a lot of skits about this. Some reactions shouldn't come to the public, but Nigeria, you trust Nigerians, they will do what they have to do. What should we do going forward?
Yes, just like you have said, Nigerians are a very special set of people on this earth. They make joke out of everything. They see everything as, this is an opportunity to laugh, this is an opportunity to actually make a nonsense of it. Now, to enlighten our people, we should know that our laws are there. Our laws are meant to be followed, irrespective of who you are. Whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are a woman, whether you are a man, whether you are a woman, whichever person you are, you must follow the law. And we should know that our Constitution, the ground law, is the mother of all laws, the mother of the laws. In fact, the military law cannot equate the Constitution. The military law, whether they say they have their provision, in fact, the military law also says that a military officer, by virtue of Section 14 of the military law, a military officer can be liable in civil.
Okay.
He can be sued.
All right, we have to go.
He can sue Yerima for his conduct. If Minister Wike takes it up, he can be sued for his conduct on that day.
Okay.
Because he obstructed lawful authority for performing their duty.
Yes, we have to go. We have to go. Just 1 minute concerning acquisition of land. I mean, because that's actually the bone of contention here. What are those things that you think people should actually follow in order not to run foul of the law? Just less than a minute.
People should be guided. Before you do anything, have information, have knowledge about the process. Let all of us follow the process. There's always the process. Our problem in this country is obeying the law that we made ourselves, and then right of enforcement. People do not obey law because there is lack of enforcement. That's my short.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the program. I want to thank you, Barrister Biba Jai, for coming on the program and discussing about this issue on OGTV, and also Barrister Basit Abolade Shuaib. He is an MBO PRO and Public Affairs Analyst. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Dominic, you have to leave the program.
We also thank you, our viewer, for watching, for keeping faith with us. That's the size of New Dawn for this week. Enjoy the rest of your week.